They'll tell you to be patient. They'll tell you to follow the rules. But they'll never warn you that patience without vision is surrender, and rules without understanding are chains. Your mind is already a battlefield, and most people are losing without even knowing it. This chapter is about awakening to a truth few dare to see: your intelligence, your focus, your ability to think. It's not fixed. It is alive, waiting for you to forge it into a weapon. By the end of this journey, you will begin to see the world not as it appears, but as it truly is. You will understand why most people remain blind, and why the first step toward becoming untouchable starts within. Every day, you wake up to noise, notifications, conversations, the endless hum of distraction. Most people never notice how it seeps into the mind, how it dulls perception, how it steals the edge that could make them exceptional. The truth is simple but brutal. Your mind is a weapon. And if it is not sharpened, it will be broken. Think of it like this. A sword left to rust is useless. A mind left idle is equally weak. Every shallow thought, every fleeting distraction, every instant of comfort is a drop of corrosion on your potential. The world around you is full of people who embrace weakness because it is easy. They mistake comfort for safety, and in doing so, surrender control. You have a choice. Every moment you spend in thoughtless routine, you are either building your power or eroding it. Intelligence is not memorizing facts or reciting clever phrases. Intelligence is pattern, strategy, and awareness. It is seeing beneath the surface. It is moving in ways others cannot predict. It is turning chaos into advantage. History offers those who understand this lesson. Think of Machiavelli in Florence, observing rulers, their schemes, and betrayals. He realized the world is not fair. People are not kind. But he also realized the mind could become untouchable, immune to manipulation, capable of turning every weakness into strength. He wrote that those who master their own mind can master the world. That is not metaphor, it is law. Every distraction you indulge is a chain. Every moment spent in shallow thought is a prison. But every minute you spend observing, analyzing, reflecting, you forge steel in your mind. You become sharper, faster, harder to deceive. Your brain is no longer a tool for survival, it is a weapon for dominance. Look at the ordinary world around you. People panic over small setbacks. They are manipulated by lies. They let emotions decide for them. But the disciplined mind, the awakened mind, sees the threads connecting actions, motives, and consequences. It calculates when others panic. It predicts when others react, and it moves, silent and untouchable, through chaos. This power is not flashy, it is quiet. It does not seek attention. It does not boast. It whispers in your decisions, nudges your perception, and transforms hesitation into strategy. It grows in moments of solitude, in the refusal to follow the herd, in the courage to face truth without excuses. And yet, the awakening is painful. You must look at yourself and recognize mediocrity in its purest form. Your mind is cluttered, distracted, and weak, and it is your responsibility to change that. You cannot wait for motivation. You cannot rely on circumstance. Power starts alone, in silence, inside a mind willing to see what others refuse. Imagine the world as a battlefield of ideas and perception. Most people enter armed with nothing but reaction and habit. You, if you choose this path, enter armed with strategy and clarity. Every interaction becomes data. Every observation becomes a weapon. Every failure becomes a lesson. And slowly, silently, you transform. The dart power of the mind is subtle. It does not scream. It does not demand. It waits. And when it is ready, you become untouchable. Others will still stumble. They will still panic. They will still fall prey to distraction and deception. But you will not. You will see it all, anticipate it all, and act with precision. The key is patience, not the kind that delays action, but the kind that sharpens judgment. Patience to observe. Patience to learn. Patience to outthink the masses. Your mind is a fortress. and every day you strengthen its walls with discipline, reflection, and insight. The awakening begins when you take responsibility for your mental state. No excuses, no waiting for permission, no relying on luck. Observe yourself. Identify weakness, name it, confront it, and in doing so, you light the first spark of dark power, a spark that grows until your mind becomes untouchable. The awakening is quiet. It does not come with fanfare. It comes in observation, in self-honesty, in the refusal to accept weakness as fate. The mind you never knew you had is waiting for you. It is waiting to be forged into a weapon. Today, you take the first step. You see the chains you've been wearing, and you decide not to wear them any longer. Strength begins in silence. Intelligence begins in focus, and power begins in the mind that refuses to be fooled. Your first spark has been lit. Keep it alive. Feed it with observation. Protect it with discipline. Let it grow until it is untouchable. The awakening is simple. Your mind is not passive. It is a weapon waiting to be forged. To remain weak is to remain prey. Every distraction, every shallow habit, every fleeting desire for comfort erodes power. To begin shaping your mind is to step into a life most will never know. Today, the chains break. Today, the first spark of dark power is lit. The truth is darker than most will ever admit. To awaken is not enough. Seeing your potential is not enough. You must descend. You must walk into the corners of your mind that are messy, chaotic, and frightening. The parts you've ignored. The parts you've lied to yourself about. Fear, anger, pride, regret. They all live there and they are waiting for you. Most people run from this darkness. They distract themselves with noise, with comfort, with shallow approval. They tell themselves they are strong, that they are brave, that they have clarity. But their reflections are lies. They are still children hiding under blankets in a storm, hoping it will pass. You cannot survive a storm by hiding from it. You survive by understanding it, by dancing with it, by learning its rhythm. The descent begins with honesty. Brutal, unflinching honesty. You must look at your fears and call them by name. Fear of failure, fear of exposure, fear of being weak. Acknowledge it. Do not flinch. Do not rationalize. The mind that refuses to face its shadows is a mind forever chained. And yet, there is beauty here. For in naming what frightens you, you give yourself the first taste of freedom. You see, darkness is not weakness. Darkness is material. It is raw energy waiting to be sculpted. History is full of examples of those who mastered the shadows and used them to rise. Machiavelli understood the human soul better than most rulers of his time. He wrote about the cruelty hidden behind polite words, the selfishness behind gestures of loyalty. And he thrived because he accepted what others would not see. He stared at betrayal, greed, and chaos, and instead of running, he used them. Knowledge of darkness became his armor. Knowledge of fear became his weapon. The mind that embraces its own shadows begins to move differently. Others act on impulse. They are pulled by desire, by envy, by anger. But you pause, you watch, you study, you anticipate. Every weakness you once had, every emotion that threatened to control you, now becomes information. Every temptation, every fleeting desire, every moment that could break you is transformed into insight. This is the paradox of darkness. It frightens those who do not understand it. It destroys those who resist it, but it empowers those who accept it. The shadow in your mind is a teacher. It exposes the illusions you cling to. It shows you the patterns others miss. It whispers the truth no one dares to speak, that control is not granted. Control is claimed. That power is not given. Power is earned. And that the mind that embraces every dark corner within itself becomes untouchable. Emotions, once seen as weaknesses, are suddenly tools. Anger becomes focus. Despair becomes clarity. Lust becomes drive. Fear becomes calculation. You are no longer ruled by these forces. You are their master, and mastery is not something that happens overnight. It is a slow, deliberate process. Every day you confront your shadows, you chip away at your chains. Every night you reflect on your reactions, you sharpen your mind. Slowly, silently, you rise above the chaos. But beware, the descent is lonely. Few will understand. Fewer still will follow. Some will envy your clarity, some will resent your distance, some will fear the quiet control you carry. That is their weakness, not yours. You walk a path the world does not prepare its citizens for. You face storms others ignore, and in doing so, you grow stronger than anyone who remains in the light of comfort. Every decision becomes deliberate. Every thought becomes observation. You no longer react blindly to life, you respond with strategy. People who once seemed unpredictable now reveal patterns. Life that once felt random now unfolds according to laws you understand. And in this understanding, there is power. Silent, subtle, irresistible power. You are no longer prey. You are untouchable. The descent is not easy. It is messy, uncomfortable, and often frightening. You will see your own flaws, your own hypocrisies, your own failures in vivid clarity. You will feel the weight of every mistake, and in those moments, the temptation to run, to hide, to seek comfort will be overwhelming. But if you resist, if you stay, if you face every shadow with clear eyes, you transform. Chaos becomes order. Weakness becomes insight. Confusion becomes strategy. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, you evolve. To embrace darkness is not to become cruel or ruthless, though that may appear to the untrained eye. It is to become conscious, fully awake, fully aware. The mind that has descended into itself sees without illusion. It hears without distraction. It calculates without fear. And in doing so, it becomes untouchable. Not because it is invincible, but because it has learned to turn every challenge, every attack, every emotional trap into a tool. And so, you move forward. Quietly, carefully, strategically, not rushing, not faltering, observing, learning, growing. The shadows are no longer enemies, they are allies. Fuel, guidance, insight. They are the material from which your untouchable mind is forged. The descent is not a punishment, it is a necessity. Pain, fear, doubt, and chaos are not enemies, they are teachers. You cannot awaken fully without embracing what frightens you. You cannot sharpen your mind without seeing the darkness you carry. And when you do, when you confront every weakness, every lie, every temptation, you convert chaos into clarity. You become a mind no one can touch. You become untouchable. The world will not reward this journey. It may mock you. It may fear you. It may try to pull you back into ignorance. That is their weakness, not yours. Your strength lies in acceptance, in observation, in mastery, and above all, in the silent knowledge that the shadows within you are now your allies, shaping you into something far beyond ordinary. The descent is necessary. Pain, fear, and shadows are not enemies. They are teachers. By embracing the darkness within, you convert chaos into clarity. Every weakness becomes insight, every fear becomes a tool, and every emotion becomes fuel for strategy. You become a mind no one can touch, because you've seen every flaw, every lie, and transformed them into power. You have descended. You have faced the darkness within. You have stared into the chaos, the fear, the lies you once carried. Now, you rise. Not as the same person, but as someone sharper, quieter, more aware. The awakening and the descent were preparation. Mastery is the moment when all that struggle becomes precision, when every thought, every action, every decision is deliberate, intentional, untouchable. The untouchable mind does not seek validation. It does not panic when the world erupts. It does not stumble in confusion. It acts with strategy, always observing, always calculating, always ready. While others react, you respond. While they are blind, you see. While they falter, you move. And in this difference lies the power that cannot be challenged. Control is the currency of mastery. But this control is not rigid or forced. It is fluid, like water shaping stone. You have learned to control your mind, your emotions, your desires, your impulses. Anger becomes clarity. Desire becomes focus. Fear becomes calculation. Every human weakness you once fought against now serves as a tool, a weapon, a lens through which you see the world. The people around you, the ones who once influenced your thoughts and decisions, now reveal themselves as predictable patterns. Every manipulation, every lie, every attempt at control is transparent. You no longer stumble blindly in their traps because you understand the rules that govern them, the rules most refuse to see. The world has not changed, you have. And that difference makes you untouchable. History remembers the tacticians, the rulers, the thinkers who mastered themselves. They understood that power begins in the mind. Machiavelli wrote, "He who commands his mind commands the world." This is not a metaphor. It is a strategy. Every act of discipline, every moment of reflection, every choice to act deliberately rather than react impulsively is a step toward absolute mastery. Mastery is quiet. It does not announce itself. The untouchable mind does not need recognition. Its victories are unseen until they are undeniable. Others may envy you. Others may fear you. Others may never understand. That is irrelevant. The untouchable mind operates above illusion, above distraction, above judgment. It moves in clarity, in silence, in certainty. The world still tries to test you. Opportunities, threats, chaos, betrayal, they all exist. But now, these are not obstacles. They are exercises. Every challenge is a chance to refine strategy, to reinforce discipline, to strengthen perception. Where once you may have faltered, now you act with foresight. Where once you may have doubted, now you calculate. Every interaction, every choice, every conflict becomes a tool for power, for clarity, for dominance. Solitude becomes strength. Time alone is no longer emptiness, but opportunity. In solitude, the mind sharpens. In reflection, the mind strategizes. In silence, the mind observes. You no longer fear isolation because you understand it is where mastery grows. The untouchable mind is not distracted by approval, not swayed by gossip, not manipulated by opinion. It stands alone, steady, deliberate, and free. And freedom is the ultimate reward of mastery. Freedom from manipulation. Freedom from fear. Freedom from chaos. You are no longer a pawn in someone else's game. You are not subject to luck or circumstance. You operate with the knowledge and clarity that few will ever achieve. You have transformed weakness into insight, emotion into strategy, chaos into opportunity. You are untouchable because your mind has become a force of nature. Yet mastery is not static. It is alive, responsive, evolving. The mind that has achieved control continues to learn, to observe, to refine. There is no complacency. There is no arrogance. There is only movement. Silent, deliberate, unstoppable. And in that movement lies true power, the power to shape life instead of being shaped by it. The mastery of the mind is also mastery of perception. You see people as they are, not as they pretend to be. You see opportunities hidden within chaos. You see truth behind illusion. And because you see clearly, you act decisively. No hesitation. No distraction. No weakness. The mind that has mastered itself is a mind that bends reality to its will, not through brute force, but through insight, strategy, and understanding. And now, as you operate in the world, you notice the difference. Life no longer surprises you. Challenges no longer overwhelm you. People no longer deceive you, because you have learned to anticipate, to calculate, to act. You are not just smart. You are a strategist, a force, a presence that cannot be manipulated. The dark power of your mind is alive, responsive, untouchable. You have completed the journey. The awakening showed you potential. The descent taught you resilience. Mastery gives you dominance, the ability to move through life with clarity, strength, and strategy. You are no longer ordinary. You are untouchable. And though the world may never understand what you have achieved, you understand it perfectly. Mastery is not a gift. It is not luck. It is earned, forged through observation, discipline, and deliberate confrontation with your fears, weaknesses, and shadows. The untouchable mind does not seek to prove itself. It operates quietly, strategically, and effectively. Every choice, every action, every thought is deliberate. You are now free. Free from manipulation, free from chaos, free from weakness. And in that freedom, you have power few will ever know. Your mind is a weapon. Your strategy is your shield. Your insight is your advantage. Mastery is not granted. It is seized. And now you hold it in your hands. You are now more than just smart. You are a strategist, an observer, a force. The dark power of your mind is alive, responsive, untouchable. And though the world may never understand it, you will operate in it with a clarity and strength few will ever achieve. Mastery is not granted, it is seized. And now you hold it in your hands.